Okay, the individual you're looking at is Larry Verdimam. And I'm showing it to you on this series here, put out by the Answers in Genesis. Ken the Ham. Notice how they're holding the ball in their hands. Baal. Okay. Now, in my other video, I showed you the mole, and it's identical to the mole with John Hagee. Now, a lot of times they cover up the mole, but I just so happened to get a photo in that other video where they showed the mole in the exact spot. Now, John Hagee, the name Hagee is a play. It's a play on a word. Okay, now what word is it a play on? Well, it's a play on a Greek word. Remember, they're actors. And they want in on everything. The right and the left. The liberal and the conservative. They want everyone. So you've got your Hagee, your John Verdimam, who's just an actor, but the English word holy, the Greek word hagios, Hagee. So I'll try to get that for you here. You just hold on. Okay, so on the left would be your English word holy, and on the right is the Greek word hagios. Now the H, the A sound, the alpha, with the little accent above it sort of produces an H sound. That would be a G sound. This would be an I sound, an O sound, and an S sound. Hagios. Hagee, holy. So let me hit the speech button for you, and you can hear it. Here's the English word.
Holy. Holy. Holy.
Now we'll go to the Greek word.
Άγιος. Άγιος. Άγιος.
Okay, so the H is there, the A or the O sound, the G sound for what? Hagee. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to John Verdimam, who's an actor. I don't know his real name, but he's the same dude that plays John Hagee. So we're going to go to Mr. Verdimam and listen in a little bit on what he has to say about atoms and nonsense in science.
At helium diffusion in rocks, you have to have hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars worth of equipment. You have to have technicians that have been trained. You have to have years of experience.
That's right, this is above you now. You don't have the brains for this. You're not a scientist. So I'm establishing my credibility. You're just a yo-yo. You don't know anything.
Able to do this. If we didn't have that and we tried to do it ourselves and we try to publish these results, people would say,
notice he's right-handed, and notice he's got short fingers, and his arms are short, and he's very chubby, and he needs glasses, and the hair looks identical to Hagee. All right? Except in this case, they really covered it black. And when Hagee's on television, they sort of really color it white. So you don't realize.
they don't have the expertise. We can't believe anything they did. So what we decided to do was collect the samples, the rock samples and the various things we were going to analyze.
Notice how he loves his right hand. So now we're going to go to John Hagee and just get a little sample of his talking and preaching or whatever and see how that goes.
The world media reported that the Pope made the shocking statement that there is no hell, that in eternity you just simply disappear. The Vatican was greatly alarmed, and the world was stunned, as they should be. Theologically, if there is no hell, what did Jesus die on the cross to save us from? If there is no hell where the ungodly pay for eternity for their sinful conduct, why is the Bible saturated with that reality from the Old Testament all the way through the New? And I know some of you are questioning, preacher, why preach on hell to our enlightened generation? The answer is because our enlightened generation is turning America into hell on earth. What we're experiencing right now is moral and spiritual insanity. Mass killings of innocent school children are transforming our public schools into a slaughterhouse. We have kicked God out of our public school.
Okay, so in one situation we're getting what? Science BS. Now in another situation we're getting news BS. So we'll go back to the other one. We'll go back to some science BS. This is a BS balance. BS in one and BS in the other.
Them for a laboratory and then send them off to world-class laboratories to do the analysis, take their results, and then interpret those results. That takes us off the onus of being able, having to justify the actual lab work itself. Plus the fact we had probably a dozen different types of analysis that had to be done. That means if it cost you $100,000 for one type of lab, and we had 12 different types of experiments we had to do, we'd have to have $1.2 million just simply for the labs. So
right, so we gotta send it off to expensive lab. It's above you. You don't know anything. We know everything, so I'm going to give you a whole bunch of malarkey.
there was a caustic reason and there was a credibility issue involved. So Bill Hosch, who I showed in the picture there, our field technician and lab technician, he did a lot of those collections and sample preparations. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the three experiments. The first one is our helium diffusion work. The second one is our radioisotope work. Our radio...
Oh, did you get it right or not? No, oh, I'm sorry. Radioisotope, radio helium, radio waves in your head. You just make up a bunch of BS and tell everybody it's scientific.
Work, and the third one is carbon-14.
Oh, that's a real good one, carbon-14.
All of these experiments, except, well, the first two experiments, the helium diffusion and the radio halo work, involve something called zircons. Zircons are little crystals that are found in the rock.
Now notice his hand movements. The hand movements he has, or she has, are pretty identical to John Hagee. And the body build is almost completely identical. And the short arms and the hairline, the way the hair goes back. The only difference is the color.
To the Earth's crust, and they're radioactive. They're very small, on the order of 2/100 of an inch in length and smaller in diameter. Basically, about the size. They're about the size of a hair on your head. The dimensions on the hair of your head. These zircons are found inside granite in particular. They're found in different types of rocks, but particularly in granite.
All right, Zircon man. Let's go back to your other man. Your split persona. You get the impression I enjoy this? You're right, I do. Because I can pick them out. All right, preacher man.
Period. We have mocked the Ten Commandments with its simplistic rules. One of them is thou shalt not kill, which is something public schools could desperately use now. America must have a moral and spiritual revival, or get prepared for a revolution in the streets of this nation.
You say
If
you
there is
want
no
a
hell, why did Moses
revolution?
write about it in Deuteronomy 32:22, saying, quote, for fire is kindled in God's anger and shall burn in the lowest hell. That's hard to misunderstand. If there is no hell, why did King David write in Psalms 9:17, the wicked shall be turned into hell and all
Notice
nations
the right
will
hand.
forget God? All nations include the United States of America. If there is no hell, why did Jesus say, if your right eye offends you, pluck it out? Because he says, it is more profitable for one of your members to perish than your whole body to be cast into hell. Matthew 5:29 and 30. Jesus said that, a Jewish rabbi. If there is no hell, why did John the Revelator write in Revelation 20:14, death and hell were cast into the lake of fire? If there is no hell, why did Jesus give us the story of the rich man and Lazarus? This is not a parable. You don't give first names in a parable. These were real people. They were in a real place. They had self-awareness. They knew who they were. They knew where they were. They knew where other people were. They knew how it was with other people. From this day forward, you're going to live forever somewhere, either in the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ or in the place called hell. Those are the only two options. There is no third or fourth.
Okay, so he wins people, and that's the idea of these hoaxers. They want to win both sides. They want to win everyone. Everyone has to have a hero. Everyone has to have someone they love. Oh, I just love to watch John Hagee. Let's go back to some more science BS. If you're still watching, I want to thank you.
And the unique thing about them is they have a very high temperature, melting temperature, so that they can be incorporated in rocks that have even gone through volcanic eruptions and still not.
Oh, what kind of eruptions? Volcanic! Ha! Volcanoes are a joke. And so is everything he's saying. But you think it's so wonderful because he's a scientist who knows it all.
Melted. So it's like a pristine capsule of elements that go through radioisotope decay and various.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. You didn't get your lines right, actor. Mm-hmm. Where's your cue cards? You don't have them, do you?
Processes, but they're maintained in this little capsule. Here's what they look like. We collected.
Yeah, there's what they look like. What do you want, your red pill or your blue pill? Matrix. Swallow one. Well, anyhow, I could go on. You know, one actor plays both. One actor plays Larry Verdimam and John Hagee. And that's the truth. I'd like to thank you for watching. End of video.